Dominica, getting harder and harder. And if you can survive here, you can make it anywhere. When your own government will not help you, financial institutions don't care about you. As a young singer and a struggling man, I really fall in here in my homeland. Oh, imagine me as a singer in my Dominica on my own. So getting concession while me as a young man on my own. All politicians doing the same thing. It's more the foreign man and them they help me. With nowhere to turn, struggling alone. Youth with frustration, it's gangs of migration. What you expect young people to do when the system leave them out there on their own? If I live and run, would life out there be any better? One farmer who abandoned his land told me sadly he can take no more. When you see you're the one who gives the most, and it's you who's suffering the worst. As a farmer here in my country, I can provide for my own family. Oh, imagine me as a farmer in my Dominica on my own. Some getting concession while me a local man on my own. All politicians doing the same thing. It's more the foreign man, they always help me. But the country is able. Once you plant a seed, we just have to work it. With help we can make it. When hurricane come, farmers bound to run. When government leave them out there on their own. Education, small business is the way to go. But there's so many limitations. A businessman told me so. If you're not a puppet to the politicians, don't expect to get any assistance. As an entrepreneur and a local man, I need the help more than the foreign man. Boy, me as an entrepreneur.
All right, that is where I want to say a special greetings, a special welcome to all of you already locked to that space that you got for yet another Sunday. Yes, today is Sunday, the 8th of October, 2023. And what a beautiful day it is in my neck of the wood, that is Dominica. And so I hope you guys out there are very comfortable at this time. For those of you maybe tuning in for the very, very first time to the Civic Vibe Sport, my name is Loftus Duran, hosting this program each and every Sunday. Alvin Thomas, the brother who normally co-hosts this program, unfortunately, he will not be here with us this afternoon. Most likely he's on some other engagement. And so, Alvin, I know you're listening. Good afternoon to you, my brother, and your family out there. This afternoon, folks, it's going to be another very interesting conversation here with us this afternoon. We have in our company this afternoon, first for the first segment, that is, two young enterprising ladies, I must say, and you'll be hearing from them in just a bit. A very, very innovative idea, a very, very, sort of hyped activity is started to come. You guys will come 2024. They'll be telling you all about it, people. And so, yes, Miss Thomas and Miss Daly, they are here already for the first segment. You'll be hearing from them in just a bit. For the second segment, we have Mrs. George, that is Petra George. We'll be hearing as well from her. So we can basically see this afternoon's program is basically dedicated to the young people and their initiatives out there. So folks, be very, very comfortable. Make yourself comfortable as we're about to take flight, as it were, in just a bit. Remember, the program Civic Vibes is shared or it's broadcast, on Facebook and live on YouTube. For those of you who are on those both mediums, we want to thank you and welcome on board each and every Sunday. And just in case you want to call into the program, the numbers are 245-2396. Again, I want to repeat, 245-2396 or 615-9470. These are the two designated numbers so that you can add your voice to the conversation here this evening. I'll be getting to some of your names in just a bit, but let me just move across without further ado to my two guests who are already here. Let me say a special good afternoon to Miss Thomas. Miss Thomas, long time to see, long time to hear. How are you? What have you been up to?
I'm blessed and highly favored. I've been up to developing this project. Super excited to get into it today, for sure.
Yes, indeed. Miss Thomas, I know we have had some engagements in the past where Civic Vibes is concerned. For those persons who may be out there, Miss Thomas, and don't know, don't have a clue who Miss Thomas is, can you just give a brief intro of yourself, please?
Sure. My name is Jose J. Thomas. I am originally from Afwawi country, Marigot. You guys may know me because I'm a scholar and now I'm a socialite. So I'm a scholar. I went to Hampton University twice. Most recently, I graduated with my master's degree in business administration.
Okay, indeed. And so that is what Miss Thomas have been up to lately. All right, let me move across now to Miss Daly. Miss Daly, good afternoon to you as well.
Good afternoon, and how are you?
Doing pretty well, pretty well.
Okay, I'm good.
Yes, same scenario, same question I just want to pose to you as I did to Miss Thomas a while ago. For those persons who may be, seeing you for the first time, can you just give a brief introduction of yourself, Miss Daly?
Okay, well, I'm Donnelly Daly, originally from Marigot, born and bred in Marigot. I am a teacher by profession. I teach at the Northeast Comprehensive School. Currently, I'm pursuing a bachelor degree in economics.
Ms. Daly, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so I have to take that again?
No, I think something is happening on Mr. Durant's end.
Oh.
All right, guys, I think the problem was on my end. It is basically telling me that my bandwidth is very low on my end. I'm connected to Digicel Wi-Fi service, so I don't know what is happening. But Ms. Daly, sorry about that. I only heard, and we only heard the first part of your intro. Can you just go over that for us, please?
Okay, I am Donnelly Daly, originally from Marigot. I'm a teacher by profession. I teach at Northeast Comprehensive High School, and I am currently pursuing a bachelor degree in economics with the University of the West Indies. And, spending good time with Jose, partnering on this project, C'est toi.
C'est toi, c'est toi. We will get into C'est toi and more activities related to C'est toi in just a bit. But ladies, I want to say thank you very much for you being Daily, that is, you've been your first time here on Civic Vibes, and it's a long time we haven't seen Miss Thomas. So thank you guys for coming on this afternoon.
Thank you so much for having us, sir.
Thank you for having us.
Good. All right. We also have a number of persons listening and watching as well. We normally touch them by name. So let me just run through that list to see if we can touch some persons out there, knowing that they are listening to you guys very intently here. We have here Judith Cochran. Good evening to you. Claralyn Warrington, Marlene Shillingford, Lafoy, Julian, Ramona St. Rose, Claralyn Warrington. I think I mentioned that name already. Usila James saying that she's locked in as well. Cyrus Raphael, all the way in Southern California. He's saying that he's locked in. Olivia Esprit, you're also there. Good evening. Clyde Gregoire, Marvella Defoe, Justina James. Good evening. Bryna Francis saying salute. Good evening to you. John Harry as well. Earl Francis, Dei Jojo. Good evening to you. Dorian Dorival, Guardian Deluge, Carol Olivachi Bruni. Good evening to you. Viva Mamu, also you're there. Rosa Robinson. Marvella Defoe is saying greetings to us all here. Marvella, good evening to you as well. Brother Omar Monel, you're also there. Stephanie John Baptist, you're also there. Youthali Vidal, Niski Alfred, Marshall Masho Lawrence, you're there. Chiquito Thomas, Karen Joseph, Glenda Lavidu, Britain, saying these are two beautiful young ladies. So good evening to you, Britain, as well. Eliza Louise Gomes, Adelaide Paul, good evening to you. Marina Charles, Nelson Kiona, yes, good evening to you. We also have here Chiquito Thomas and, well, Roxas Binoa just tuning in at this time. So those of you who are there, 70 plus persons already here, I can see. I know many more of you are watching in the incognito mode. You're just there and not saying nothing, but you are taking in the information nonetheless. Good evening to you in a very, very special way. So yes, folks, it's already 10 minutes past the good old hour of 6 o'clock, and that is where we have to make a run for it, as it were. Let us start by asking, first and foremost, Ms. Thomas. Ms. Thomas, give us in short, what does this word Setwa mean and how it relates to you guys' activity?
Okay, so Setwa is the new kid on the block. We are a brand new carnival enterprise, and we are an exclusive Juve band, meaning we are the Juve specialists. Yes. So we don't do anything other than Juve. And the reason for that is because Juve is the metaphoric and historic beginning of Carnival. And we really want to get back to the traditional vibe and meaning of what Carnival is. So we are an exclusive Juve band, and our first showing will be for Carnival 2024.
2024, indeed. So, and you said you're the Juve specialist.
Yes, the Juve specialist. Because we only focus on Juve, because we recognize the significance and importance of Juve for carnival culture.
As you're touching on that word Juve there, it's a very important word in our culture in Dominica. Can you just give the listening public, those who may not know what that means, just an idea what the word Juve mean?
Yes, so Juve historically is a French word which really describes the activity that we know to be Juve, starting from the early mornings or the break of the morning into Carnival Monday. So for us, a lot of people are not familiar with the history of Juve and how it started essentially, but really from our French colonizers who used to have all these masquerade parties and masquerade balls and that we were not allowed to go to. We would break out in the wee hours of the morning. It would kind of be like us mimicking and taking back some of our power from our colonizers. And herein borns the word Juve.
Indeed, Juve. We have some more persons joining in on the live. Good evening to you as well, as you folks are tuning in. Please share that information as we're moving along here. We're having that special, interesting conversation here with two young ladies, Miss Daly and Miss Thomas. Basically, two young people. I guess they have other people partnering with them as well or helping them along the way. But that is a special, innovative idea that these young persons came up with. And most likely, if everything goes well, as planned, will be executed for Carnival 2024. Ms. Daly, can you just chime in here as we're moving on in terms of how about that set to our business that you guys are putting on? What do you want to tell your persons who may be reluctant now to come to that activity?
I would say to them, you would miss out on one of the very worthwhile, memorable experience, the dirty experience. I would say to them, you would really miss out on something great. So come on down to Marigot. Marigot is the Juve capital. Most people don't know that, but Marigot is really the place for Juve. The inception of the actual Juve is really portrayed in Marigot throughout the years. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we're hearing you clearly, yes.
Right. So not coming to Marigot would mean you would be missing out on something great, something really worth experiencing, as we would call it, the dirty experience.
Wow.
I also want to know too, we are the first and only exclusive Juve band. And again, going back to the traditional showing of Carnival, there can be no Carnival without Juve, which is the inception. So yeah, let's go.
In terms of why, okay, I know you guys said you guys from Marigot, but what about Marigot? There's something about Marigot that when Carnival time comes around, there's some exception to the rule, as it were.
Right.
Get into a little more of that, Josie.
So Marigot is the second town, but really Marigot is a mecca for all things culture. Marigot is the only village that speaks Kokoi, which is indignant to our culture. So Carnival in Marigot is really a unique experience because we really bred and started that traditional Juve band. When I say traditional Juve, I'm talking about the traditional feel and experience of what Juve really should be. So I would say over the last half a decade, Juve has kind of become an afterthought in our country, and it kind of resembles more like Carnival Monday than a traditional Juve. A traditional Juve is really about that no holds barred, like happy to be free, bringing in the quote unquote spirit of Carnival, which includes the paint, the powder, color bombers, and that's what you have on the grounds in Marigot. So I think also the geographic location of Marigot makes it an ideal location for Juve and all things Carnival because we have a very wide catchment area. So to participate in Juve in Marigot really means rubbing shoulders with a wide variety of communities. We have our Kalinago brothers and sisters, which will be on the road there. We have our African brothers and sisters on the road, Marigot, Wesley, Kalivishi, and so forth. So I think all of that really makes a unique experience, especially because Margot's culture, we play a lot of dance hall. So when you come to the Carnival, it's not going to be exclusively bouillon, exclusively soca. It's really a cultural mecca in that location.
And that's what Setwa is bringing this year.
That's what Setwa is bringing on.
In terms of the dance hall and the mecca of the different genres of music, we have a lineup of DJs that we want to incorporate different genres of music and not just focus on, just the calypso and the bouillon. We want to incorporate everything that would really portray the whole idea of our freedom as,
Yeah. Also, too, let's not forget, Sugar Fire is born and bred in Marigot as well, the original Labu Cabwit. So I think we have a really unique culture in Marigot that probably the wider audience of Dominica has not got a chance to see. And we're here to say, we're diversifying the carnival options to let you know that when it comes to Juve, the Juve specifically, you have to be in Marigot for sure.
Wow. Something like that. I'm very interested, and I guess the viewers as well, they would be very interested in just wondering and wanting to know about the inspiration behind that idea.
Yes, for sure. So it's a very unique story because both Donnelly and I were nerds. So we really grew up as scholars. Our parents didn't allow us to go to Carnival a lot of times. And I remember being in high school and my mother would always say, the party not going nowhere, the party not going nowhere. And at that time, about a decade ago, Marigot was really on fire for Juve through Blue Stars Productions, who again started that paint powder traditional showing of Juve. Now that I am an adult and I visit my home country, I come back home to participate in Carnival, and there is an era of opportunity to kind of revive that spirit. So really, I came down for Carnival 2023. I'm an adult woman now, so my mother kind of keep me in the house. So I came down and I went to participate in a Juve, and I came dressed. I came ready. I had my shower cap on. I had my shades on because I was coming for a traditional Juve experience. And when I got there, I came clean and I left clean. So that's what started the idea for me. And I thank God every day that He put me in a position where I have access to the resources to develop my village and to develop my country. So I thought, you know what, there's no time like the present. I called up Donnelly and I'm like, let's start this project to really, again, the vision is to diversify the Carnival options in Dominica as a large, and really to brand Marigot as a viable option for Carnival.
Right.
Yes, Dilly, anything else you want to add in terms of that?
I think I'm experiencing a lag on the live.
Yes, yes. Normally you comes up saying that a note comes up saying that your bandwidth is low. But we are hearing you, so you can go on. Yes.
Right. So just to add to what Jose is saying, we have had, just to add a little touch to Blue Star, we have had the experience, we have been introduced to that experience of paint, powder, and water. So I just want to take the moment to big up Blue Star Juve. So Marigot is known, the people of the catchment area, they know that Marigot is a place that you can come for Juve and have a real good experience, a free moment where you can just express yourself and enjoy yourselves as you wish to. And Josie and I came together, like minds, coming together on this project. We saw the opportunity and the gap in the market to bring it to another level. Like, hey, let's take it to another level. So we're not here saying like it's not non-existent. We have had years of good Juve experience from Blue Star. That is a group in Marigot, consists of young men there. And we just figure, okay, why not help Blue Star to turn it up a notch? So here we are, joining minds together, our resources, and trying to bring another level of dirty experience to enhance, and to enhance and bring forth that vibrance, and that vibes for Juve, not letting it die. All incorporating the traditional music and also our sugar fire bands.
Yeah. Yes, someone is asking you guys to explain again what the Setwa means.
Okay, perfect. So the name Setwa, right? We are from Marigot, and just me as a businesswoman, my focus is the customer. So c'est-toi actually comes from a play on a French phrase, c'est-toi, which in French means it's you. So every time you say c'est-toi, you're saying it's you, it's all about the customer. Because we are from Marigot, we don't traditionally speak French patois. What we speak in Marigot is Creole. So by the time the French gets to Marigot, it's no longer c'est-toi. It is c'est-toi. So that is really the meaning of what c'est-toi is. And then also coincidentally, c'est-toi is the pet name of my late grandfather who passed away. And if you ask anybody in Marigot, he's the life of the party, okay? He was a fisherman, an avid drinker, so it just kind of all meshed together. So really the brand is built on focusing on the experience for the customer while also honing in that traditional kokoi from Marigot. It's not c'est-toi, it's c'est-toi, yeah.
There's a roughness about it, c'est-toi.
That's right, because by the time it gets to Marigot, it gets into that kokoi that a lot of if you're not from Marigot, you always say, but what Marigot people saying? Like, what are they talking about? Let's introduce you to c'est-toi.
Sure. There are some more persons on the live feed. Alex Bruno, you're there. Good evening to you. Darren Yad, Adeline Shillingford, good evening. Hilma Matthew, Simeon George, Miranda Williams, Maury Jules. Darren Yad says, this time I will come to Marigot this time around. So already, Josie and Miss Daly, you guys have a prospective participant in the c'est-toi activity right there in the name of Darren Yad. Lauren Lestrade, you're also there. Mind Over Matter Roberts, you're also there. Alvin Thomas, good evening to you. You're listening and watching as well. Angela Paul, Wendy Williams, Marina, Charles, and the list goes on and on. Juanita Prince, Alistair Irish, Owen Prosper, Dana Philbert Peterson. So folks, the audience is building nicely to the information that you guys are giving out here this afternoon.
Love to see it. Love to see it.
Okay, let us see if we can now sort of open up the conversation, expand the conversation a bit more. I am hearing Setwa, I am hearing Marigot. I also heard Miss Daly or Jose said that it's you guys are sort of doing something for Marigot, but which will certainly add value to the Dominica's economy on a whole. Kind of broaden the scope of the discussion and let us get into that aspect of it.
Well, I'm an economist by trade. So my first degree is in economics and leadership studies. So once I came to Dominica, I'm always looking for like gaps in the market. I think Carnival at the basis is an economic experience to like bolster the economy of Dominica, get the money circulating and so forth. However, I think it's very important to diversify that market in order to expand the industry across Dominica. So we're hoping to inspire other villages, other groups, other diasporans to invest in their village, invest in their country, because essentially it's not a sustainable model for all of the activities to be exclusively in one geographic area. So we want to pull Juve into Marigot, have some traffic going back and forth there. Therefore, we can get the economy turning in those catchment areas like our Kalinago territory, Wesley, Woodford Hill, and all of those quote unquote country villages. That's why we said in our commercial, the country have vibes. So I think both of us are studying economy. So the underlying mission is to diversify the Carnival experience in Dominica. And the underlying mission is to foster economic growth in our country.
Yes, indeed. Ms. Daly, anything you want to add to that?
Yes, and
yes,
just
thanks, Josie.
Yes, just to add, both Josie and I have something in common. We have a passion for economics, a passion for our academics and business, and we have great minds. And Josie and I work well together. So as she said, we saw a golden opportunity to continue our devotion to our country, our community, and our country by extension. So SETWA is really aimed at diversifying the Carnival option in Dominica to foster economic growth and stability, not just in Marigot, but across the catchment area and by extension Dominica.
Yeah.
Yeah. So ladies, give us an idea of how many persons that you guys think that would be impacted in a positive way, economically speaking, that is from you guys' activity?
Honestly, I think there's no ceiling, Mr. Dura, honestly, because just in our showing alone, I am a diaspora. I don't live in Dominica. So a lot of the activities that I do, I try to broadcast to my social media platforms in order to inspire other diasporans out there. So we have that diasporan impact right there, which is very, very large and very, very wide. And then also we want to perpetuate that kind of tenacity across the villages. So we're talking the Kalinago territory and all its many different villages, Wesley, Woodford, spanning all the way to Portsmouth, and therefore, and moreover. Also too, the focus on Juve is also a big area of opportunity as well, because again, Juve is the historic, symbolic, and literal beginning of Carnival. So I think the inspiration is really limitless to specialize, especially like as a business mind and managing projects in the US. I know that in order for success to happen, you have to have specialized areas. Someone have to specialize in the Juve, specialize in the Carnival Monday, specialize in the Tuesday, in order for it to be as impactful as it can be. So I think there's no ceiling, really.
Right. I agree. I feel like, all right. Excuse me. You can hear me now?
Yes, we're hearing you loud and clear. Go on. Yes, go on.
Okay. So yes, I agree with Josie. It's not a one-man show. It's not Marigot alone. I believe that, the bus drivers, the vendors, the credit unions, the supermarket, the banks, everybody will be touched, impacted, where economic comes in play.
Yeah.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, young ladies, it is not there's this stigma that goes with young people sometimes, especially by some of the grown folks. That's it. All these young people can do is just see who. How would you want to respond to people like that with that notion based on they listening to you guys' ideas this afternoon?
Well, I would say it's supply and demand. At the end of the day, we are business minds and we have to meet the people where they are. Also, too, I don't think it's right to negatively speak on our culture. In Hawaii, they have belly dancers. In other countries, they have other culture. For us as Caribbean folks, and specifically Dominicans, I think a good party is a part of our culture. I mean, that's the part of like having an amazing island life. For us, our goal is again to refocus the party. Carnival is not just a party to come and put on the feathers and just have a great time. Carnival is about us celebrating our freedom as a people, and that's why we want to go ahead and focus back on the Juve. So in all of our branding, in all of our talks about C'est toi Juve and the ultimate dirty experience, we always remind our customers why we are doing this. We are doing this in order to get back to our tradition and get back to the realization that we are here today from centuries of difficulties and challenges, and we are celebrating that, especially with Juve, because I said in one of our promo videos, I was like, if I was free, I would be dirty too. So I'm very blessed and happy about our culture and how far we have come. And that's what the party is. A good party is to celebrate that history. And it's not a pointless party at all.
True. Both of you guys keep repeating the phrase, the dirty experience. Just give me a little going down that lane.
So for us, branding is super important. So we want to, the theme for 2024 is the ultimate dirty experience. To make it very clear, this is not a t-shirt band, this is not a Carnival Monday band, this is a traditional showing of Juve. And a traditional showing of Juve, you come clean and you're gonna leave absolutely dirty. And that's again because you're bringing in that metaphoric and literal spirit of carnival. We're bringing in that celebration there. So that's our theme for 2024, the ultimate dirty experience. In all of our packages that we have built, each person will have their individual paints, individual powder with them on deck. That way, with all of our patrons together, we all have paint, we all have powder. That's what's going to create the ultimate dirty experience. It will not be mistaken for a Carnival Monday at all. It is a Juve for sure.
Wow. That sounds very interesting indeed. Talking about patrons, what can your patrons now expect from that whole sort of, activity that you guys will be putting on?
Yeah. One thing we want to leave the customers with is like we're very customer focused. So you can always reach us at our email, setwaofficial@gmail.com. And one thing that
just take that again. Just take that again, Jose, a little slowly.
Okay, sorry. Yes. So the email, we're very customer focused. So we encourage all of our patrons, potential patrons, to communicate with us, and we'll try our best to accommodate all requests. Our email is setwaofficial@gmail.com. Our Instagram is setwaofficial, and our Facebook is setwa. So that's
okay. And that setwa is spelled just so persons, wanting to know.
SETWAH, straight Margot, straight Kokoi, set wa. So you could reach us there. And one thing that we can promise to our patrons, I manage business in the US. And I'm a very organized person. Like I said in my intro, my first identity is as a scholar. So I think what we can promise is like efficiency through the logistics. So we started planning this project in May. As we speak, we have 116 pounds of paint on the port in customs. So it's not going to be an experience where you kind of get paint, you kind of get powder, you kind of get your outfits. No, we're really organized and we want the logistics to go off seamlessly. I'm always thinking in terms of logistics. So that's one thing that we can promise. We can promise that everything we say we're going to pack in your package, you will receive. You won't have to stress. You just come, pick up your package, and you're good to go for the Juve.
Also, We would like to take this opportunity to encourage our patrons to take advantage of our early bird pricing. You get it. That's the cheapest affordable price. The earlier that you register, you assist us in executing smoothly and sticking to our commitment to bring you the best experience ever, efficiently, well organized, and have, proper, our logistics is just on point.
Yeah. Also, too, I will say for the people on the live who don't know who we are the undisputed 2 times Kiwani's debate champion. As a team, we've never lost a debate in history. If we look a little familiar, you can always catch our debates replaying on SAT Telecommunications. So that's just to show you the level of execution that we have as a team. So we've been undisputed in debates, and we plan to be undisputed in this venture as well.
Right. That's correct.
So that's a perfect duo right there.
Perfect duo, undefeated duo.
I know. Where exactly in Marigot will that Setwa activity be held? Where exactly?
So our focus area, like our grouping area, will be where's Marigot. If you're not familiar with Marigot, the credit union, you can't miss it. Yes, that's going to be our focus area. And again, we're very vocal on our social media and email platforms. So as the day comes closer, we'll be revealing the route, where to pick up your packages, and all of those little details.
Yeah, that Josie, I must tell you, and Miss Daly as well, is sounding like a very, very, very interesting activity. Once it is logistically put together and everything is on point, I think the patrons will be very, very happy. And in terms of the longevity of that activity, how long into the future you guys are planning for?
Well, really, again, there is no ceiling. Really, again, this is first to diversify the carnival options in Dominica. Without saying too much, we want to represent our country as well. For a long time, Trinidad has kind of been the mecca of carnival, and they've kind of like let their tentacles touch other Caribbean islands. We have that ambition and we have that goal. So regardless of where you are, you can expect to see Setwa as a Dominican brand. So the sky is the limit for us as we continue to develop as a project.
Precisely.
Yeah, indeed. Anything else? Just before we take a break, we're going to take a break in the soul. Anything else you guys want to plug in there before we take that all-important break?
Yes, while we're taking that all-important break, I would highly encourage the listeners to go ahead and check us out on our website at www.setwaofficial.com.
Also, take some time out to check out our Instagram page, Setwa Official, Setwa on Facebook. See what it is that we are bringing. Enjoy the vibes on your break.
Indeed. We're going to take that all-important break, Miss Thomas, Miss Daly. When we come back after the break, we're going to go to the live feed. Some persons are already commenting, they're asking questions or making suggestions. We're going to engage them and then get back to you guys in terms of your wrapping up discussion in just a bit. All right. Thank you very much. So far, so good. Let's do this. We'll be back in just a bit. All right, folks. Yes, we are here on the Civic Vibes page this afternoon. Those of you on YouTube as well, good evening to you. We're talking to 2 young ladies, Miss Thomas and Miss Daly, talking about an activity carried for February 2024, the Setwa Juve performances. Remember, folks, the numbers to call in here in the program, they are 245-2396 or 615-9470. So yes, folks, if you guys are looking for somewhere to go, come Carnival 2024, the place to be is at Marigot. That is where Miss Thomas and Miss Dilly and her team, they'll be putting on a performance of a lifetime. Remember, the name is Setwa. You'll be hearing much more in days to come. Support the young people of Dominica as they contribute to the economy in their way, their shape, their form. You'll be getting some of that, I can tell you, for the Setwa Jam. All right, let's get back to our live panel here with Miss Thomas and Miss Dilly. Yes, we're talking to them. We spoke to them from just about 6 o'clock this evening. We're going to wrap up with them in just a bit. But ladies, so far so good in terms of the information that you guys are giving out there in terms of your innovative idea. Anything else you guys want to plug in here in terms of important notices that you want to put out there before I get to the live feed?
Yes, for sure. So we want to really stress, we have our early bird pricing right now. So essentially we are selling an experience. So we are selling an exclusive dirty experience. And only thing you have to decide is what you want to wear. So we have 3 packages. One is our Dirty Angel bodysuit, which is our sexiest bodysuit for all of our sexy ladies out there. We also have our Dirty Saint bodysuit, which is a more conservative version of a bodysuit. And then our unisex t-shirts, which both Donnelly and I are wearing on the live today. And they are called our Dirty Tees as a traditional outfit for Juve. All of our packages are, you pay for 1 package and you receive 10 items, 1 for 10. So essentially your outfit, paint, powder, water, a 16-ounce tumbler for the rum, drinks ticket 1, drinks ticket 2, drinks ticket 3, a drawstring bag to hold all your Juve necessities, and 10, the ultimate dirty experience. Right now is our most affordable price. We're really stressing that because we want to ensure that a farmer could purchase it, a businesswoman could purchase it, a nurse, but going into the future, we will be upping our price to reflect the value in the packages.
Ms. Thomas, I'm learning this afternoon. You mentioned some names there: Dirty Saint, Dirty Angels, Dirty Tees. Just go a little deeper into that. Why those names, please?
Okay, so those names are because, again, we're really focusing on the branding, which is you come white and you leave completely dirty. So all of our outfits are white. And we wanted to think about, you know, the connotations of the cleanest that you can be. The cleanest that you can be is like an angel, a saint, and again, focusing on why we have Carnival as a people. We are angels, we are saints. So that's where that name comes from. Also, it really highlights the type of outfits. So if you're in a Dirty Angel bodysuit, that is our sexiest outfit. And then if you're in a Dirty Saint bodysuit, you know, you're saintly. So it's a little bit more covered for our conservative ladies. And then finally, our Dirty Tees is really a showing on a traditional t-shirt. We added dirty to the beginning of all the names because, again, the experience is a traditional Juve experience, and we wanted that to be captured in the communication and naming of the outfits.
Yes, indeed. Miss Daly, anything you want to add? Your mic is mute.
Jose has it all covered. Dotty Angel, Dotty Saint, Dotty Tees. So you get the package of your choosing, and every package, the only thing that is varied, is different, is the style of your outfit. So you choose what it is that you are comfortable with, and you go ahead and you purchase. And each package come with the same items, and it is guaranteed that you will receive all your items. Just purchase. You can purchase on our website, and you can also, if you're doing cash purchases, there is also a link there that you fill out a Google form, but that link is for cash purchases only. So if you would want to do a purchase using a Visa card or whatever it is, you can purchase online via our website. You can get the link to our website and the Google form on our Instagram page, as well as on our Facebook page. Go right ahead and purchase now. Remember, it is the cheapest possible price that you will get it for now. That is, the Dotty Angel is now at $150. The Dotty Saint is at $130, and the Dotty Tees package is $100. So go ahead and catch the early bird pricing, which will be closing real soon. Do not miss out on that early bird price.
Also, too, I just saw somebody in the comments say it don't have an outfit for Mr. Loftus Durant, but of course, we have our men covered. All of our t-shirts are unisex. Another thing, too, because I work in business, and again, it's all about the customers, we really focused a lot on the quality of our products. So we did not skimp on cost in terms of investing in the quality of our products, especially because the outfits are white. So both of our bodysuits are that thick swimsuit material. So ladies, feel very confident. You can go online and see our models. You will not be revealed at all because the swimsuit material is very heavy and very thick. You will be well covered in that area as well. And then for our Dotty Tees, we have the men covered. You're covered right there for sure. We are also a very body inclusive company. So I don't want to hear no girls talking about they need to lose 20 pounds to come into the outfits. Absolutely not. Our sexiest premier outfit ranges from size small to 2XL. So slimmers and thickers, we have you covered.
Well, Miss Thomas, the person who mentioned about the outfit for me, there's not an outfit for me, is Mr. Alvin Thomas. He's the co-host of the program. And so seeing that you explained to Alvin, then there is a costume or some attire for me, then Alvin can foot the bill.
That's right. That's right.
So I'll be, Alvin, that one is on you, my brother.
Someone is asking c'est toi, like three. No, c'est toi, it's a French phrase, which means it's you. So when c'est toi comes to Marigot, c'est toi, when it leaves the French and it comes to Marigot, because of our traditional Khoikhoi dialect, we would say c'est toi. So that's the reason, that's the play on the name c'est toi, which means it's you.
So every time we say c'est toi Juve, it's really your Juve. All of our patrons. Oh, I'm going to c'est toi Juve. It's your Juve.
True, indeed. I'm also hearing as well some, naysayers out there, Miss Thomas, Miss Daly. These young people, couldn't have they focus on anything except that Juve thing for Carnival? How would you respond?
Again, it's refocusing on the history. I think something has been lost in translation, that we kind of like associating Carnival with just another fete, but Carnival is not just another fete. Are you happy to be free? Let the church say amen. Are you happy to be free from bondage? So I think it's culturally relevant to really focus on Juve, especially since I think in the last half a decade, Juve has become kind of an afterthought, and the traditional showing of it has been lost. So that's what we're doing. We're really, as young people, focusing and refocusing on our culture and reintroducing the conversation that Carnival is not just a fit. Carnival is not just a party. Carnival is historically relevant to who we are as a people, and Juve even more so because we are a part of the French Caribbean. So to the naysayers, I would say this is why we have to have that conversation to say we are here because of activities like Carnival to celebrate our freedom as a people.
Also, too, to add to Jose, but really from a different point of view, CETWA is here to foster economic stability as well. As a band, as a business, we hire people to work. The bar owners are going to need people to work because we have people coming into our village, coming in from different communities, coming into our village. The vendors are going to need people to work. The credit unions are going to have a rush of money coming in after Carnival from the bar owners. Loans, the credit unions people can now take loans, they make money. So it's not just the Carnival aspect of it, but we are here to foster economic growth as well. Job creation will come from that. The cash flow stays circulating within our community and everybody wins.
Yeah. It's a win-win situation. Also, too, please note that this enterprise is 100% funded by the people you see on the screen right here. We did not wait. We did not ask permission. We really took our own funds, our independent funds, and decided to develop our community. And for that alone, regardless of what the enterprise is, you have to kind of give a slow clap because again, I live in the US, lots of opportunities to develop businesses here, but I chose to develop a business in my country and specifically in my village. So I think regardless of your feelings towards probably Carnival as a whole, you have to kind of step back and give a round of applause for that entrepreneurship at its inception.
Yeah. A matter of fact, Jose, I was going to ask you about in terms of sponsorship. Who are you guys looking forward to sponsor, or where are you guys getting your funds? But seeing that you let the cat out of the bag already, that is good. And on that note, now I just want to dovetail what you said in terms of you guys coming up with that idea, using your funds to help your community/country. So that in and out of itself is a perfect example right there for other young persons who may be finding it hard to navigate their way through, the hard times in Dominica.
Yeah.
Young people can do for themselves.
Right.
Right. So, and want to use this opportunity to say, to really extend the support, because again, I'm funding this independently by myself. And again, it's because I really care and love my country. I'm a serial entrepreneur in Dominica. I also funded, before this enterprise, the Christine J. Thomas Scholarship Award, which is housed at the Northeastern Comprehensive High School, which is my alma mater. And to date, we've donated $1,500 of my own personal funds. So again, this is a larger vision of me as an entrepreneur, really believing in my country, believing in my village. And this venture just happens to be a Juve venture, but I always invest in my country time and time again.
True. And you would encourage other young persons, Daly and Thomas, to sort of help themselves in that department as well.
Yes, sir.
Definitely.
Yeah. So you guys are sort of zeroing in on that Juve aspect of our cultural activity, but there are other opportunities that, presents themselves to our young people, and, So you guys are not just talking, but you guys are walking the talk.
That's right.
Yes, and earlier, Lofty, I heard you mention, you asked the question, what is the vision for CETWA? We as economics, we always think of the long run. We are forward thinkers, so we are in it for the long. And the vision is to expand even beyond us.
Yeah. Even beyond us, beyond the borders of Dominica, beyond the borders of the region. It's really about us as Dominicans representing our country and just spreading as large as we can, because there are other events from other Caribbean islands that are, participating in Dominica Carnival. So we want to take that to their doorsteps as well.
Yeah, someone is saying there, Franklin.
Someone is saying they want to give us a spot on World Creole Music Festival. We welcome it with open arms.
We've been asking. Go ahead and hit us up. Open arms. We ready for sure.
Yeah, matter of fact, you just beat me to it. I'm daily. Mr. Franklin Timothy saying here, I love these girls' enthusiasm towards their endeavor. Love their vibes. I would give them a spot to help organize the World Creole Music Festival Economics 101.
Yes.
You go, you girls. This is a brand creation, he said.
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate you.
Yes, indeed. Folks, well, you know, when we're having discussions sort of that nature, time flies. Yes. And so it's already 5 minutes to sort of bring down the discussion. Those folks who may be just tuning in at this time, Ms. Daly, Ms. Thomas, can you just recap in a nutshell, put it in a nutshell as to what you guys said and what the patrons can expect for 2024 Carnival?
Carnival 2024 is all about Setwa Juve in Marigot. Carnival 2024, we cannot stress it enough. It's all about Setwa Juve. It's a brand new exclusive Juve band. And our first showing will be on the 12th of February 2024 in Marigot.
Yeah. So literally, if you take nothing else from this, take that we have two young ladies, scholars, who are venturing into this venture, and you could trust us with your business. That's something that I really want to stress. Essentially, we're well-organized young ladies who wants to really execute on a very, very high level. So if you want to know anything about us, we do have a commercial that is linked on our Instagram that will tell you everything you need to know about our showing. So the intro to the commercial, I'll just leave you guys with this. Hello, Carnival 2024, is that you? Carnival 2024 is all about a brand new Juve band called Setwa. Setwa. So I'll see you guys on the road for Carnival 2024.
Wow, Miss, a lot of power there. I can tell you that. Miss Daly, Miss Thomas, thank you very, very much for coming on here this afternoon.
Thank you for having us.
And giving the people that kind of information.
Thank you. So we really appreciate
it. Thank you for having us. We really appreciate it. We really appreciate the opportunity.
Yes, we really do. Thank you so much, Mr. Duran.
And even maybe closer to the date, please feel free to come back and give us an update where you guys are at in terms of, you know, the punchline going through to Setwa 2024.
Yes, sir, we will. Thank you so much.
Lucky, right. I must commend you. You have the name on lock. Setwa.
I have it. Trust me, I have it. I heard it too many times this afternoon. Thank you, Miss Daly, Miss Thomas. Thank you very much. Wish you guys all the success there is.
Thank you. Have a great day, sir. Bye.
All right, bye now. Dominica. Dice is singing this all-important number on my own. Sometimes it feels like that where the young people are concerned in Dominica. But here you are this afternoon, two very, very innovative young people coming up with an innovative idea indeed. So though they may be on their own, as Dice is saying, but they are willing to do for themselves.
Take it anywhere. When your own government will not help you, financial institutions don't care about you. As a young singer and a struggling man, I really fall in here with my homeland. Oh, imagine me as a singer in my Dominica. On my own. So getting concession while me as a young man on my own. All politicians doing the same thing. It's money foreign man and then they help me. With nowhere to turn, struggling alone. Youth with frustration, it's gangs of migration.
All right, Dominica, don't just go as yet, huh?
When the system,
the second segment is up next. So if you got to take a break, get a drink of water, do just that, but come back. Another Dominican, another young lady is up next with another innovative idea.
Then we open our eyes, Dominica.
And is already reaping fruits in Dominica.
Let's love our country.
You want to listen to Mrs. Petra Carbon George indeed.
And I wonder if I live and roam, would life out there be any better? One farmer who abandoned his land told me sadly he can take no more. When you see you're the one who gives the most, and it's you who's suffering the worst. As a farmer here in my country, I can provide for my own family. Oh, imagine me as a farmer in my Dominica on my own. Some getting concession, while me a local man on my own. All politicians doing the same thing. It's more the foreign man, they always helping. But the country is able, once you plant the seed, we just have to work it. With help we can make it. When hurricane come, farmers bound to run. When government leave them on their own.
And let me say on behalf of the Civic Vibes team, thanks the brother Denison Dice Joseph and brother Pat as well for coming up with this one. Very, very timely for the conversations that we have in here this afternoon. Young people sometimes feel that they are on their own. But these same young people, trust me, they can be very innovative people as well. Let's take the last verse from Dice, and then we're going to talk to Mrs. George in just a bit.
Falling short on education, small business is the way to go. But there's so many limitations. A businessman told me so. If you're not a puppet to the politicians, don't expect to get any assistance as an entrepreneur and a local man. I need the help more than the foreign man. Boy, me as an entrepreneur in my Dominica on my own. Some getting concession, but the local businessman on my own. All politicians doing the same thing. It's more the foreigners and them they helping. Tax here like hell, business taking blows. It's either you sell to the Chinese or close. Business can go on, can get blood from stone when bad sucking us right up to the bone. Oh, yeah.
All right, Dominica, let us switch gear at this time. It is now 5 minutes past the good old hour of 7 o'clock. Those of you who are still there with us, thank you very, very, very much indeed. We are going now into segment number 2, where we're going to speak to another young Dominican, that is, in the name of Mrs. Petra Carbon George. She will basically give an introduction of herself and get into the gist of the discussion here. Mrs. George, good evening to you and welcome.
Good evening to you, Lofty, and guests and viewing public. It's a pleasure to be here as always.
Petra, before we get into it, let me just give you some accolades here. Petra, you're a young woman that I look up to in terms of your steadfastness. Whatever you say you will do, you try your best to do. Whenever you say you will help, you try your best to help. And so Petra, those attributes, they're very good. You don't find young people having that kind of steadfastness to hard work and to things of that nature. You're a very serious young woman indeed. And so for that and more reasons, Petra, I want to congratulate you and thank you and just ask that you keep doing what you're doing. You're on the right track, Petra.
Thank you, Lofty. It's a pleasure to get this recognition from you. You're such a great person yourself. bringing all the stories out to the general public, letting everybody know what's happening in Dominica, keeping us abreast, those of us that are out in the diaspora. So I myself want to thank you as well for doing a great job.
True, indeed. Petra, we have a number of folks here. I know you have been here on this platform a number of times, but you know, social media, there's somebody new always tuning in every time. So just a brief intro, just who is Mrs. George?
Okay, my name is Petra Cavon George. I am originally from the village of Capuchin in Dominica, and I left Dominica to go to the US Virgin Islands to further my studies, myself and for my daughter as well. So I've just graduated last year with a bachelor's degree in accounting, and my daughter have graduated with a bachelor's degree in nursing. And so as I promise people that when I get there, I will look at the situation and see how I can help bring something back to my country. And this is what I'm doing right now.
Wow, indeed. And I see you have a lovely thing in the background there. What is that? What is that in your background, Petra? GSA and Things LLC, Excellence Beyond Measures, Portsmouth, Dominica, and St. Croix, USVI. Tell us a little more about that, Petra.
Okay, so GSA is George Shipping Agency and Things LLC. So I came up with that name because, you know, in the foreign, you have to register your company in order to operate. So I came out with that name, and we were looking into doing shipping in the boat industry as well. But since this is a little harder process, I decided to start using a chartered company, aircraft, to try to start the process so people, to bring word out to people that I am keeping my word. I am trying to work and do my best to help Dominicans become financially independent.
Wow, and how has that been so far?
So far, so good. I mean, the first trip was last week, 2 weeks ago, was the first cargo trip. It was not a big shipment, but it was a start. And from then on, people are calling in, people are putting in their requests. And so it's moving nicely. I also do chartered flights, that's passenger flights for people staying in St. Thomas and St. Croix to Dominica, because we have no direct transportation to Dominica. Whenever we want to travel, we either have to go to Puerto Rico or Miami and then come to Dominica. So this is one of the other services that I offer as well.
Yes, indeed. Petra, you may have listened to the conversation that we had with the two young ladies prior.
Yes.
How did that idea in terms of what you're into now, products, moving products, especially agricultural based products, spices, herbs, whatever it is, from Dominica to the USVI, how did that idea came about?
Well, for one, my father was a farmer, fisherman, and he still holds a job. And so farming is something that I raised growing up. And my father was really financially independent. He sent us to school. We were not rich, but we had enough. And so just looking back at Dominica now, I realized that so many people are saying that they don't have jobs, that they don't have jobs, that they don't have jobs. And I said to myself, how can I contribute, help the people to recognize that we can create our own employment? We don't have to wait on government to provide jobs for us. We can go back to the soil and we can plant. Some of the people I spoke to also said that they have been planting, but sometimes the produce stays on their hands and they are not able to sell everything at the market. So I say, you know what, let me see how it is in the US Virgin Islands and see how I can help to solve that problem. And so that is how I came up with starting GSA and Things LLC.
Wow. So basically from your father, there was this seed that was planted, as it were.
Yeah, I remember going onto the field. My father didn't want me to carry banana boxes. He said that's not for girls to do. But I was right there with him. I had my selector knife. I used to cut the bananas of the tree and put it on the floor for the people so that they could cut it and put it in the boxes. And also I married a gentleman from Woodfordale who is a farmer as well. So yeah, I guess farming is in my blood.
But Petra, you You don't look anything like a woman that can use a selector knife, Petra. You don't look so.
Take
It looks are deceiving, right?
Yes, the looks are definitely deceiving. I can use my fork, I can use my cutlass,
Wow.
I can use my selector knife. I know how to dig, I know how to plant. Just as the farmer, the real farmer, even if that's not my profession.
Petra, how difficult it is a task for you being, and I don't want to be discriminatory here by any stretch of the imagination, but that what you're into now, moving products from Dominica to, well, from Dominica, yes, to the USVI or the territories. You'd more or less find that being a male-dominated area. Are there any challenges?
Yes, there are challenges. There are people who are doing it already. And so my whole aspect of that is not to come and cause segregation, but to bring us together, all the people that I met doing that trade already in the US Virgin Islands, to bring us together and help us to work in collaboration with the farmers in Dominica who know, yes, they can call somebody when they have the produce and that person can get other people to buy their produce from them. So it is challenging because some people don't like to work with people. They like to work by themselves. But I hope that as time goes by, that people will recognize that I am only doing it not for myself, but also for the farmers and for sometimes their family is a farmer too in Dominica. And so they would benefit from it as well. So yes, it's very challenging, but you know, I can sustain this type of things.
You can sustain. Okay, let us get down to the brass tacks of things, Petra, in terms of what you do, how you do, moving those products to and through.
Okay, so I do have a handler, a gentleman in Dominica. He's JC ground handling in Canefield. And so his job is to take care of cargoes coming in and leaving Dominica. So it's really easy. I just call, if I want anything in Dominica, I call the farmers that I know of and ask if they have that produce, and then they take the produce to the airport when the flights, there are dates set, selected dates for cargo flights to Dominica and from Dominica. So on that day, they bring it to the airport and the ground handler will take care of all the documents and so, and we'll get the products here. Now, my husband gets in touch with some of the supermarkets owners, and we ask them what they would like from Dominica, and then we source that produce for them in Dominica.
Okay, in terms of the availability of the products that you want from Dominica, are there any challenges there?
Yes, there's a lot of challenges because right about now, everything is scarce in Dominica. So we just encourage people to start planting because if they start planting now, next year they will have some good income because we decided to go all the way with it. And so for right now, like I was looking for some passion fruits because the gentleman wanted like 500 pounds of passion fruits every 2 weeks. And passion fruit is very, not passion fruit, sorry. Peppers, sweet peppers, seasoning peppers.
Seasoning peppers, yes.
Seasoning peppers, yes. And so seasoning peppers is very scarce right now in Dominica. But it's in high demand in the Virgin Islands. So, and it's a crop that don't take long to be cultivated. So my message to the Dominicans who are viewing, to get into the backyard, get into the little piece of land that your parents left behind, get it, clean it up, and start putting on seasoning peppers because they're in high demand in the Virgin Islands. And not only myself would buy them, there are other hucksters who ship with me as well, who buy the produce as well. And they use the same farmers that I myself use to get the products to the US Virgin Islands.
So far, Petra, are you getting any satisfaction in doing that? I know it is a business, so obviously there have to be some profit for you to realize. But when somebody is involved in something, then there has to be some kind of satisfaction for them to stay there, stay the course, as it were. How are you feeling so far?
The operating cost is very high because I don't have a aircraft for my own.
Okay.
So the chartering of the aircraft, the prices are very, very high. And sometimes for my first trip, I did not meet the operating cost. So I did it at a loss. But nonetheless, I still am encouraged to do my next one on a Wednesday. And because at the end of the day, my thing is to ensure and to encourage people to become financially independent and stop being dependent on the system to provide for them. As you are aware, last year you did that same program with me when I was coming to Dominica to do the financial budgeting program that was held in December.
Yes.
And so from that, I just joined it to the GSA and see how I can help Dominicans to become financially independent. Because when you have your own money, you're a whole different person. I know that for myself. I work in the US Virgin Islands, and I know how much I make on a monthly basis after tax and everything. But when you get that extra money that you make on your own with nobody have control over, you feel so much better. You feel so much better about yourself because you can determine how much money you want to make and not how much money you have to get. So you can say, okay, this week I am going to push to make $3,000. Next week, if you're busy and you decide to make $2,000, it's all well and good. But when you work for people or you rely on people to provide jobs for you, you can only bring home what they give you. So that is where I am really doing my best to encourage people to grow the produce because they are farmers. There are farmers grow your produce because there are hucksters on the US Virgin Islands who are willing to buy your produce to export them to the US Virgin Islands. And both persons will gain in that trade.
Wow. Talking about produce, Petra, can you give us an idea of the type of produce that you deal with?
Okay,
you want to get from Dominicans?
Last week, the hucksters got yams, sweet potatoes, plantain, peppers. Oh, Lord, the brain, I get it old. Cucumbers. It had something else that they brought up last week. But yeah, so that is what they brought up last week. They wanted more stuff, but it was not available.
Okay.
So in Dominica. And passion fruit is of high demand sometimes to restaurant here, but in the US Virgin Islands, we are not allowed to bring passion fruits with their seeds or in the shell. So the only way passion fruit can come to US Virgin Islands, it have to be shelled out and it have to be quick freeze. So it have to reach in the US Virgin Islands in a frozen state, so that we could sell it to the people in the restaurant. So that is the only challenge with the passion fruit. I know Dominica, my cousin, have a lot of passion fruit, and I was so happy that I was going to help him to move the passion fruits, only that the US Virgin Islands does not allow shelled passion fruits, nor the passion fruit with the plum. You have to have it quick freeze. It have to reach here frozen.
Wow, that is news to me. Thanks, Petra, for that bit of information.
Yes.
The other thing, Petra, that was running through my mind, and we'll take a break at the bottom of the hour, 7:30. That is next 10 minutes or so. The other thing that was running through my mind in terms of the produce itself. Can you envisage any time, Petra, that produce would maybe stay on your hand because there's not a demand for it over there? Maybe I've gotten too much from Dominica.
You'll have to repeat your question because I didn't hear the last part.
No, the thought was just going through my mind that if you can envisage a day or time that you'd maybe get that bulk of stuff from Dominica, that some of it would basically stay on your hand.
Well,
that scenario.
No. I don't stay by the roadside selling my produce because I work 8 to 5. So I work with the supermarket owners.
Okay.
And so what they ask for, that's what I bring. So it's just
Okay.
transport it and deliver. Just transport and deliver. So for me personally, I would not have anything on my hands. Some of the hucksters that send for the stuff that does the day-to-day selling, that can become a challenge if we have too much. But as for me, I have not seen it in my future because I have not planned to do it on the roadside or like that.
Okay. So basically, I'm getting from you that it is from your end. It is down to a science in that you have a need over there, and you look at Dominica/Dominicans to meet that need, and so nothing stays on your hand.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Anything else you want to punch in there, Petra, as we're moving on?
Yes. Also, I want to encourage the farmers again, since it's agricultural produce export we're speaking about, not only for myself, because Royal Investments in Portsmouth, which is one of the corporations that I'm part of, where we're trying to bring young people to use their new business ideas to promote and so forth, also have that shipping industry and agency in Portsmouth. And from time to time, they have the farmers from the hucksters from Guadeloupe and the hucksters from Antigua also asking for produce as well. So it's not only for myself. Me being here and asking farmers to go back to the soil is not really for me only. It's for all the hucksters who export to the other countries, to St. Kitts, to St. Martin, to Nevis, to Antigua, to Guadeloupe, and sometimes to Martinique. And so I encourage the farmers, go out there, plant what we ask. Don't plant anything. Plant what is in demand at that time. So that way things don't stay in your hand. And then you will say, oh, they tell me to plant and now I have so much, I have to throw it away. So let us work together as a team. Let us correspond with each other. Let us communicate with each other. That way both of us can benefit from the trade. And I will tell you what is in demand and you try your best to meet my demand. And I will also source out for you other hucksters who are looking for the same produce. So I will also make way for you to make extra income, not just for me, but from somebody else as well.
Yeah. And Alvin Thomas is asking, let me get to his question. Is the demand for produce growing?
Definitely, Lofty. Demand for produce is growing. Let me tell you, we have good produce in Dominica. Very, very good produce in Dominica. Where they import the produce from, the produce sometimes they have to put that extra stuff on it to keep it in its freshness state because it travels so far to get to the US Virgin Islands. Last time I bought a tomato and the tomato was actually shining. When I touched it, it had that gloss on top of it. I had to use some warm water to remove the gloss before eating it because they put those things to preserve the tomatoes because of its distance it traveled. So now what I'm trying to do is bring fresher food to the people of the US Virgin Islands. It just come up from the farm yesterday, and today it can be on your table. So that is what I try to encourage, because we know the things they use to preserve the food in itself. Although they tell you the food is vegetables or produce, the things they use to make it shelf life, to extend its shelf life, the chemicals is not good for us to digest. So I'm trying to encourage people especially the Dominicans living in the US Virgin Islands, let us support our people. Let us support our people by buying the produce from the hucksters that are importing them from Dominica. It will be good for your health, much better for your health. And so the sicknesses that we're dying of, cancer and high blood pressure, we have no idea what's causing that. But I can tell from the little science that I have in my head that chemicals bring, it helps to bring these diseases around. So if we can cut back on eating the things that have all that thing they use to preserve it, then it will be better for us. So that's why I'm doing that for two reasons: to help the people in Dominica and to help the diasporas that are living in the US Virgin Islands to eat much healthier food from their own country. And so they'll be contributing indirectly to their fellow Dominicans.
True. Very, very well said. Very well said indeed. So Petra, in terms of the timing now, or the time it takes from Dominica to you / the supermarkets in the USVI, give us an idea in terms of,
Okay.
the timing.
So basically it takes like 4 hours. 4 hours from from the airport. It takes 1 hour and 45 minutes to get it to St. Croix. The clearing process and everything. If everything goes well and all the produce are washed and packaged properly, in like 30-45 minutes, it's out of there, and then the rest is just to take it to the supermarket. So in 4 hours, you can have the best food, nutritious food from your own country just in 4 hours from it leaving the farmer's hand in Dominica.
Wow, that is a sure game changer. Ferdinand Lawrence is saying here, it's a huge game changer indeed, and he's wishing you all the success moving forward, Petra.
Yeah, thank you.
Indeed. We're about that time when we have to take that break, but Petra, there's a scenario I want to pose to you after the end of the break. So I just want to punch it on you now, so your thoughts can start to run in that department in terms of your response or responses. There is this dependency syndrome that has slowly but surely gripped Dominicans, whereby Dominicans now think that they cannot do for themselves. And here you are, here were these two young ladies before, doing for themselves in order to sort of get away, move away from that dependency syndrome that has taken grip over Dominicans. That is the scenario I want to pose to you after the break. We will take that break right about now. Petra, take a little break on your voice and we'll come right back in just a bit. Folks, we are there talking to Mrs. George. Very, very innovative idea in terms of moving produce from Dominica to the USVI. Please get on board with the program. Let's take that break. We'll be right back in just a bit. I wanted this one from the dice. Entitled Arm Them, meaning the young people of Dominica. In a sense, that's the conversation we are having this afternoon on the Civic Vibes program, both Petra and the two young ladies before, where they as young people are sort of arming other young people in Dominica for the betterment. Let's take a listen to the dice.
How many more decades round the street corner before society realize young people not breaking the law, they fighting a war? Dominica, open up your eyes. Cause all this rage and anger, hostile behavior, lack of respect on the public road, it means they can't take much more of societal neglect. So before this war explodes, arm them, arm them, arm them with the tools they need. They just want to succeed in whatever their field of endeavor. They have their rights. They have the strength to fight. And if we do what's right, we win the peace. They win their war. Come on. Oh yeah.
Folks, the numbers to call, they are 245-2396 or 615-9470. That is after the break, that is.
Yeah, yeah. How many more fatal traffic accidents? How many more children to be buried by parents? When they flying their bike in the air like stuntmen, it's a show of open defiance. And while politics divide us, the country's best resource, intoxicated and wasted away. Meanwhile, those who hold power, they really don't care, cause it's not they and theirs who'll be exposed to the dangers. Arm them, arm them, arm them with the skills they need. They just want to succeed in whatever their field of endeavor. They have their rights. They really want to fight. But if we do what's right, we win the peace. They win their war. Oh yeah,
Dominicans. That is what the Civic program is all about each and every Sunday. Help Dominicans connect with one another. And all the good that Dominicans are doing here and abroad. Brother Dice will come back to you. We'll for sure take that number. Arm them. Dice is talking about arming the youth with all what's good. We end with that song, but let's get back to Petra in terms of the live discussion now. Petra, a number of comments, some questions here for you as well. But before we go to those questions or comments, this scenario that I posed to you before, Petra.
Yes, so I know this is creeping in our society, slowly, but it's a controlling mechanism. And if you study psychology, you would know. When I was growing up, my father told me when I was growing up that one of his motto is to teach a man how to fish. If somebody needs help in something, you help them that one time, but then you show them a way that they can do it for themselves. So they don't become too dependent on you. Because when people become dependent on any system or any person, the person that they're dependent on can become so controlling in that sense that they dictate to you what you can do, what you cannot do, where you go, where you cannot go, because they have total control of you. Because you, in your mind, they let you know that if you don't do that, then I won't give you that. And it's such a shame to see that creeping in our society so slowly, and people are not being aware of it in that sense. And I remember doing my own survey on agricultural produce. And back in the 80s, that is as far back as I went in my research, farmers were the ones who were sending to their children to school, paying for their tuition for their children. Farmers and fishermen to some extent as well were paying their half for their children in the educational platform. Now we have so much people relying on the government for scholarship because people have given up their rights to earn their own living. And that is a dangerous game, a very, very dangerous game. And it's a psychological game to control the will of the people. And so, Dominicans, I am coming out with these innovative ideas, not only for myself, but for you as well, that you claim your independence, go back to reclaim your independence, go back to the farm. Farming, some persons say, oh, farming is a dirty job. That is not true. Everywhere you go, you have to, yes, the office looking like a nice job, but it have a fixed salary. And when goods increase in the shop, you still have to make it work on that salary. Whereas with farming, you can go out there and push more or plant more and change your income to help you help you to with the increase in goods and services through inflation. So Lofty, I just want to say this, you said that creeping in our society, it is true. And Dominicans should stand up against it by going to work for themselves, seeking employment for themselves, creating employment not only for themselves, but for their children as well, to remove us from that state of dependence on the system that is in Dominica.
Yes, indeed. Alvin Thomas Petra is asking about the logistics, because a lot of persons listening here now, viewing, may just think that, you know, you have an easy job on your hand. Give us an idea of what it takes now to move this stuff from one place to another.
It's very challenging, especially when you have a 8 to 5 job, Monday to Friday, and then you have 3 children to come home to every day to help with homework, to do your housework yourself, and you still have a husband to take care of. It's very challenging, but I will not have it any other way. It's a lot of communication, and since I don't have an aircraft myself, I have to work with a charter company, and then the dates that I may want may not always be available. So I always have to be in constant communication with them to ensure that that the dates that I have, that they can work with that date. And so it's lots of hard work, and you have to deal with the customers. The customers are calling all day, new customers, trying to find out the information, trying to find out different things about the company. So it's a lot of hard work, but I will not have it any other way. I love serving my people. I love to make people happy in terms of having that money. They can go to the shop and say, hey, I come to buy that, instead of coming to say, can you give me that? And when I get money, I will pay. So it's a pleasure doing it. It's hard work, but it's a pleasure doing it.
Indeed. Let us get to the feed now in terms of some comments there as we're moving on. Adelaide Paul is writing here, seasoning peppers, also known as pimento peppers, are ridiculously expensive here in New York. I use them for my most popular hot sauce, that is Decade. Yes, Decade. She has here, what's that? Yellow, Aspama, yellow. Yes, but basically Adelaide is into some hot sauce business as well as a Dominican in New York. And so I saw sometime later down, she said that she may need to get in contact with you, Petra, as well, because she would really want to get some of these peppers that she made her sauces with from Dominica. So right there could be a business venture right there. Brother Peter Carbon writes, that was a former minister of agriculture in Dominica. He's on the live feed saying, Dominica needs to develop a contract system of production/marketing to satisfy demands for fresh produce. What did you want to respond? How would you want to respond, Petra?
Good evening, my cousin Peter Carbon. Yes, that is true. The government should do it. But since the government seems to not be doing for the people what they're supposed to be doing, we that have the knowledge and we that have the zeal should take up the innovative approach and have it done for our Dominicans. Because at the end of the day, we cannot let our people suffer and rely on the government solely, when we out there in the diaspora can assist them in that aspect. To send barrels is good, to send boxes is good, to send money is good. But what would be great is to actually buy something from somebody and then send that money that they earn for them, where they could buy what they want themselves. So yes, Peter, the government should do it, but while the government is not doing it, I decided to do it for my people because I love my people that much.
True, true. Gina Castle in the Portsmouth area is writing here. How can one know how much of any stuff that can go on the plane and what's the cost of the box?
So the charter that we're using, yes. So the charter that we're using now is $2.25 per pound for the produce to come up and cargo to go down. So I also do send stuff down to Dominica as well. So the people living in St. Croix, they bring their stuff to my location and I ship it down to their family as well. So I'm doing export both ways. Export for agriculture, export in Dominica, and taking packages and everything else in St. Croix and send down to Dominica for the family. It's $2.25 a pound. My agent that I use in Dominica is JC Ground Handling in Kinfield. He's open Monday to Friday from 8 to 4. You can go there. He'll give you all the information. The plane that I'm using, the pay weight or the weight for it is 1,600 pounds to come up and 1,200 pounds to go down. So it's not a big vessel. So we hope in the future, I'm calling on the people who have the money in the bank. And so if you have all that money in the bank and you want to help me by joining to buy a bigger aircraft to get it moving and help our country, contact me as 1-340-423-7502. And you can call if you're in the US or you can WhatsApp if you're out of the US. I will put my number in the chat as well. Yes, Lofty.
Indeed. Yeah, because I saw some persons asking for that all important information as well. Omar Monel is writing, and just before I read Omar Monel's comment, folks, there are 2 numbers to call as well, to give my voice a little break as well. So the numbers are again 245-2396 or 615-9470. Call directly into the program and punch your question suggestion directly to the guest here. Omar Monel is writing, agricultural produce is usually the main focus, but with such efficient farmer to table times, what about seafood? Is that possible?
Yes. So I have the young lady that helped me to get along for Express, Carrier Express, I think is a company in St. Thomas. Very lovely lady, young lady, Aisha. She also buy fish in Dominica and bring to St. Thomas. So yes, there is room for seafood as well. So the fishermen can go out there as well and go get fishing. And it's something that we're going to work on to help in all aspects that we can. But Aisha in St. Thomas is already bringing up fish, frozen fish from Dominica. And so it's something that she was the one that really inspired me. When I look at her and doing her stuff, I like, okay, she get it going. So if she get it going, I can get it going as well. So the seafood is definitely there. We are working on all aspects to help our people in Dominica from the diaspora.
Indeed. Let me see if I could take some more comments here. Adelaide Paul is writing again, hey, nothing good comes easy, but you certainly have the right attitude. That is a comment coming your way from Ms. Paul. Any more comments here? I saw Brother Marshall Lawrence says, do you have a few persons on location assisting? I think you answered that question already, Petra.
Yeah, so yeah, we do. We have farmers in Dominica that I know of, but I would also want to put a farming group together or a WhatsApp group together. So anybody that do farming in Dominica on a large scale, or even on a small scale in things like seasoning pepper also that can be grown in the backyard, you could call my number, WhatsApp me, and let me know you're interested. Trying to put a group of people together that we could message each other and everybody would know what we in contact with each other. So that way, even the hucksters too that are in St. Croix and St. Thomas, I am calling on them as well to be part of this innovation that is trying to move our people forward so that we know who to call. We know who to call at all times to have meet the demands that we are facing in U.S. Virgin Islands.
Indeed. Petra, I know we are speaking specifically to your innovative idea in terms of moving produce back and forth, but with conversation like these, the politics cannot be too far from these conversations. In that, what I'm thinking there, Petra, you are a leader and you are leading in that department. In that, umpteen years now, the leader of this country, or the man who sits in the chair as prime minister of this country, keep repeating to Dominica, well, for some time now he stopped because he realized it's sort of, being ridiculous now. But he kept saying to Dominicans in the past, the government will purchase a boat or two to move produce from north to south. Dominica is smack in the center, is in a pivotal position that can basically feed the Caribbean region. And up till now, nothing in that department. And so, Petra, you as an individual have taken it upon yourself. You are not the owner of your chartered flight, your flighters yet. You're still chartering. But at the end of the day, once that business booms, Petra, you never know where that can land you. And you may be the first person in Dominica to own your flight, be it vessel or plane, to move stuff from Dominica back and forth and leaving words where they are that wasn't meant to come to fruition at all.
Definitely, Lovely, definitely. And that is exactly the plan. The plan is to start here and to expand out there. So once things work out, and I know it's going to be challenging, and there are people who try to put stumbling blocks because that's their job. But I know the God that I serve. If he make way, he will continue making way. And so that is where I'm aiming at, to be able to own my own aircraft one day, that I would be able to reduce the cost per pound for our Dominicans, that they will be able to even send for their families as well, little boxes with provision as well. Because when at the price that it is, $2.25 a pound, when a yam go in 5 pounds or 8 pounds, $2.25 US a pound, it's so much to send a little yam for your family out in the US Virgin Islands. So I am working on that to try to be able to do and own my own stuff, so that price per pound can be reduced. And so the people in Dominica who have family living in the US Virgin Islands can also send little packages of produce to their family also. And so it's a win-win situation. And so I just asking for the cooperation of my people. Work with me, because I'm not there selfishly trying to do something for myself. I could have stayed in my job. I am an auditor right now in the US Virgin Islands. I can stay in my job and make my own money. I could do my own stuff and forget about everything else. But I want to ensure that my children and my grandchildren, when they move back to Dominica, they can say, yes, I can follow the footsteps of my mom, because she have opened up a way for me. And other people in the diaspora can also say, yes, this young lady have started something. Let us join, let us do. I see somebody say, they're doing honey production, and that is good. These are things we can incorporate as we expand to see where we can source that market for the people who are doing honey. I see somebody say flowers. This is true too. If somebody could order a flower arrangement from you from Dominica and have it delivered in 2 hours, people, that's like driving from Portsmouth to Roseau, buy your arrangement and come back down to Portsmouth with it. So at the end of the day, we can think of different things to export, and I am here to support. I am here to help. I am there to look for to source the people in that field. So any idea that you have, WhatsApp or call me, put it in there, and I am willing to work with everyone so that we as a people in Dominica can become financial independent. We don't have to rely on the government, that they can tell us that they take away this from us if we don't do this because we need that from them. We can tell them to themselves, that is your problem. Go ahead, I have my money. I can do my own thing.
True, indeed. Petra, I'm gonna tell you a dream, and the people a dream that I always had when I was younger. And the dream was to be a pilot. I always wanted to be a pilot. Planes always fascinated me. Still fascinates me today, but you know, I guess with age, I have to leave certain things down. But when I heard you said, Petra, one of your vision is to own your own aircraft, I said, wow, Lofty, you might still have some kind of thing to go and study and then get that pilot license so that you can Petra's pilot, huh?
Definitely, Lofty. Definitely. Let me tell you, we are young. We can still achieve our dreams. And so it's just somebody that has to create the opportunity to help somebody else to meet their dreams. And we see that with our forefathers. They fought for independence. They fought that we could have a say. They fought that we could speak our mind. And so, Lofty, don't worry with them. Alvin making fun of you as talking about your age. But Alvin is 75 years in the US for you to do commercial license. So Lofty,
tell Alvin that for me, please. Tell Alvin that for me, please. He may be talking about himself, but there's time, Alvin, there's time. But Petra, yes, the conversation is flowing so nicely. I know there's much more that can be extracted from the conversation we have in here, Petra, but it's 10 to 8, and we just have to sort of, you know, bring it down in just a while. But any other thing, Petra, that may be pressing on your mind you'd want to give out there?
Today is about my agricultural exports. So I'm just first into the farmers in Dominica, everybody that own land in Dominica, get your cutlass, get your sword, go back to the farm, get your fac, and let us get it going. I cannot do it without you. I need you to do it. I need you to go back to your land to plant so that I can buy from you and sell for somebody else. I am just the middle person. And so I am willing to do that for you. And you have to be willing to do it for yourself. I can only go that far. I cannot come to plant for you, unfortunately. So you have to do it for yourself. So if your uncle have a piece of land and your uncle not utilizing the land, ask your uncle to list the land and go planting. If your grandmother have land and she waiting until she die to give it, go to her and tell her, Mommy, I will pay you while you're alive to use your land, and go to the land, clear it up, and let us get it going, people. Let us work for ourselves. Let us spend for ourselves. Let us become financial independent for ourselves. Let us not rely solely on our system in Dominica, because as we see, the system is not really working for us. So we have to work for ourselves.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. Petra, what I'm thinking, you're talking and I'm thinking and I'm saying, but that information that we're giving out here this afternoon, especially where the farming community, the farmers in particular, can benefit from that exchange that you are engaging. Lots of them are not hearing or will not be privy to that conversation. So Petra, maybe in the future, you may want to set up some online platform whereby you in the USVI can open up now that forum to Dominican farmers, Dominican hucksters, anybody and everybody who is in that field, as it was, so that they can hear from you directly as manager, CEO of GSA. And so, you know, there will be that better flow of communication. And then maybe out of that, you will have much more of a larger pool of persons who can readily supply you with stuff so that that mutual benefit can prosper.
Yeah, well, what I learned in business is that word of mouth is the fastest form of communication. It's still very effective. And so most of the farmers don't watch social media, but their children do and their grandchildren do. And if you love your parents and you love your grandparents, send out the word to them and tell them you see that lady on Lofty platform or on Facebook, and she's speaking about buying from the farmers, and then give them my number and then they can call me themselves. So it's the people, the young people, to get the information to their fathers and to their grandfathers, because they are not on social media. And so that's the most I can do from where I sit, Lofty, because that's the medium we have now, social media we have now. So it's the young people who see it to bring out the word to the people. And also, I'll do something with Emo News. I know most of the people too watch Emo News, so yes. I will also do something for Emo News. Probably just a short video to post on Emo News. and so that the people can hear about what I'm trying to do to help the people back in my country and the love that I have for them. I really do love people, you know, Lofty. I love people. I don't like to see people suffer. It hurts me that I see so many Dominicans, especially the young people, have to beg just to survive. I don't like that begging mentality. I'll be very honest with you on here. And I know some people might think that I'm harsh or I don't know what they're going through. Yes, I know what you're going through and I understand where you stand and I understand you have to do what you have to do to survive. But in the same time, while you're doing what you're doing to survive, please think about working for yourself. Please think about going back to the farm. And you don't need a whole acre of land to plant. Your backyard can do something for you. Do lettuce, do cucumbers. Cucumbers sell here as well. So do cucumbers, do lettuce, do chive and parsley. These small things that can bring extra income for you. So everybody can put in something to get something out of it.
Wow, Petra, I'm listening to you talking, Petra, and trust me, there must be a change that have to happen in Dominica. It's imperative because Dominica cannot continue on that same trajectory. And I'm talking about that political change that is so desired in Dominica now. And Petra, I'm listening to you talking. And I want to tell you straight up, Petra, you have to be part of that change because it's people like you that, as you said, love people with that kind of a smirk, that will cut it. And so whatever it is in the future, Petra, just keep your eyes and ears on the ground, glued. And you never know, because with you being a representative somewhere, wherever you choose, Petra, I can only see the people, your constituents, being the beneficiary of your leadership because you have studied it, and I can see that is your life. It's a lifestyle, so it will just be a smooth transition when that time comes around. I am prophesying that, Petra.
Oh, thank you, Brother Lofty, for your prophecy.
Trust me.
And listen to me. My uncle was Alan Carbon, and he was so much of a good role model for me, even if he didn't live long enough for me to thank him. And so it would be my pleasure to continue what he started. And I know he was a person that loved people. I think I take that from that side of the family. So it's just something, you know, when you're in leadership position, you should always think about how you can help your people to be better, encourage them to have a better life. And this is all I want to do, to encourage people to have a better life, not for myself, because I could just say to myself, I study, I do my thing, I make it my ways, but to encourage people to who cannot afford to pay tuition to go to school, but can plan that they too can have this benefits that I am having as somebody who went to college and can have a degree, because degrees does not bring money if you don't know how to use it, but skills bring more money than degrees. So just putting it out there to my people, we are skillful people in Dominica. Let's get the ball rolling. Let's help each other. Let's stand with each other and let us contribute to our communities in an economical way and to help people build that financial platform or foundation, not only for themselves, but in the future generation to come, that they can look back and say, my father, your children and your grandchildren can say, my grandfather or my father set that foundation for me, and today I am building on it, and I can take cruise like everybody else. I can take trips like everybody else. I can go Disneyland if I want to. I can go to France if I want to, because I have my own resources.
Basically, the sky is the limit.
Yes.
Let's take some final comments here, Petra, from the live feed, and then I'm going to get back to you for your final comment indeed. Mary Jo says, I love people that love themselves. Alvin Thomas says, great program, great presentation. I love what I heard. Ferdinand Lawrence says, and the love for people is on full display tonight. Anita Adams Bernard is watching as well. Marshall Lawrence says, onion, celery, sweet pepper. Cheryl Bernadette Garraway, you're watching. Glenda Lavi do right. Glenda Lavi do Brittany writes, I am in awe of this young woman. Dominica needs her. Let's do this, my people. Rosa Robinson said, so proud of you, Petra. Oma Monel says, we need her as eternal pal rep. Well, Oma, I don't know what that means, eternal pal rep, but a pal rep would do for me. Oh, an external pal rep, he says here. Alvin Thomas says, well said, Petra. Marshall Lawrence, well said. Glenda is asking for your number again, Petra. Did you put your number in the feed?
Yes, I put it in the feed, but I can put it again.
Okay, please. All right, so yeah, because a number of persons are now asking. But Petra, thank you very much for coming on tonight and with some very, very good, useful information for people out there, in particular, the farming community. Your final thoughts as we bring the curtains down on things.
Yes, so finally, I would say what I said from the beginning. Let us work together. Let us help each other to come out from the state that we are in our country. I love my country, but I love my people in my country more. And so loving my people, I am doing this for my people. So work with me. If you don't produce for me, I cannot sell, I cannot export. So get on the farm. Tomorrow, I expect to see some young person say to themselves, let them go up to the Zion and cut out an acre of land and let them start planting. So people, let us do it. We can do it. We can change the costs that we are on right now in Dominica. We just have to do it for ourselves. And so there's the opportunity. I present to you the opportunity of a way moving forward that we can help ourselves to come out from that poverty mindset that we slowly creeping in our community and in our society. So let us work on it, people. I just put in my number. You can call or WhatsApp, leave a message, and then we can speak from there to see where we go from here.
All right, Dominicans, that's it. Petra, Carbon, George, special thank you to you in a very special way indeed.
Thank you,
Petra, do enjoy what is left of your night, okay? Thank you very much again on behalf of the Civic Vibes team and the many, many followers live here with us, glued, riveted as it were, to the conversation.
Thank you, Lofty, and thank you, the Civic Vibes team, for having me on your platform. It's always a pleasure. And I know we have the same thing in mind, to get the people to a better state of mind. And so it's always a pleasure to be there. And thank you again, Lofty. You're such a gem. You're always looking out for some young person that is trying to do something to encourage and motivate them. And for that, I think the whole public who view you is always grateful for that aspect of yours.
Petra, and finally, I think you send that thing to me, your business, maybe 3 or 4 times, but in my busy schedule, I didn't really take a good look at it. It is last week when you resent it for the 4th or 3rd time. I said, but let me call Petra to ask. And when you told me, Petra, you're the owner, CEO, everything, all in all, I said, wow, Petra, we have to make it happen. I thought you were working for somebody and you were just, sending information around. But Petra, compliments again and congratulations.
Thank you very much. And I look forward to working with the people who are here. Please share my information. Please share the live so somebody else can watch it in their spare time and build Dominica. Thank you and good night.
Indeed. Thank you very much. Thank you indeed.
The strength to fight. And if we do what's right, we win the peace. They win their war. Come on. Oh yeah. Born unto life.
All right, Dominica, that is it for us here in terms of time. We started this evening's program with 2 very, very inspiring young ladies in the name of Miss Thomas and Miss Daly. talking about a project for 2024 Carnival that is a Juve Setoir.
Yeah. How many more fatal traffic accidents? How many more children to be buried by parents? When they flying their bike in the air like stuntmen, it's a show of open defiance. And while politics divide us, the country's best resource intoxicated and wasted away. Meanwhile, those who hold power, they really don't care, cause it's not they and theirs who'll be exposed to the dangers. Arm them, arm them, arm them with the skills they need. They just want to succeed in whatever their field of endeavor. They have their rights. They really want to fight. But if we do what's right, we win the peace. They win their war. Oh yeah.
And yes, folks, thank you very much. The many folks. So those of you who tuned in and commented. We just ended another splendid conversation presented to you by the Civic Vibes team, where Mrs. George, Petra Carbon George, that is, have a very innovative idea to benefit Dominicans at large, especially the farming community. Last verse of the dice, and we're out.
Dominica, wake up to your youth. There's a ticking time bomb under your roof. Without a job, education, skill or vision, they'll just become pawns for politicians. Because if your energy is anti-society, the first victims will be children and the elderly. How can Dominica claim to be strong when the youth in the land are living in rebellion? So arm them, arm them, arm them with the chance they need. They just want to succeed in whatever their field of endeavor. They have their rights. Look at them, they want to fight. But if we do what's right, we win the peace. They win their war.
Okay, Dominicans, that is it for me. That is all the time we got together. I got to pack my bag and make some tracks. See you, Dominicans. Love you. Bye-bye. See you same time, same place next week.
Nice again.